Xin chào và cảm ơn quý vị đã lựa chọn theo dõi khung giờ thời sự quốc tế. Ngay lúc này, hãy cùng lướt qua các tâm điểm đang thu hút sự quan tâm của dư luận toàn cầu.
Sự kiện số 1. Israel tiêu diệt các chỉ huy Iran và phá hủy căn cứ quân sự của IRGC cùng Basij. Sự kiện số 2. Iran mất 90% bệ phóng tên lửa trong các cuộc không kích chung của Mỹ và Israel. Sự kiện số 3. Israel phá hủy các tiêm kích F-14 Tomcat còn lại của Iran tại một căn cứ không quân.
Và sau đây là nội dung chi tiết.
Israeli forces have killed an Iranian general and high more commanders during fresh operations carried out in Iran and Lebanon and destroyed military bases belonging to IRGC and Basij. The commander of the Iranian Air Force base in Tabriz, General Dariush Soleimani, was killed in an Israeli drone attack yesterday. According to reports, the strike was a targeted attack directed at Soleimani's home and killed the general's family members too. Israeli strikes also killed Brigadier General Mohsen Darabaghi of the Iranian Air Force. The Institute for the Study of War and Iranian media confirmed Mohsen Darabaghi was an Iranian Air Force Brigadier General and fighter pilot who served in several senior readiness and support roles within Iran's armed forces. In yet another attack, the Israeli army eliminated an Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps IRGC commander Dharr Mohammadi in Lebanon. According to a statement by the Israeli military, Dharr Mohammadi was considered one of the key figures in military coordination between Iran and Hezbollah and served as the head of a missile unit, was killed as a result of Israeli strikes. It should be noted that earlier, the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, announced that it had also killed 9 officers of the Quds Force. In yet another operation, Israeli fighter jets struck bases of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, and the Basij paramilitary force in Iranian city of Avaz in Khuzestan province. According to reports, dozens of facilities belonging to the IRGC, Basij, police and army have been destroyed. Video footage capturing aftermath of the Israeli strikes has been shared. The video features huge plumes of smoke rising over the city skyline following the attack. In broad coverage of the Israel-Iran war, the Israeli military has publicly acknowledged extensive airstrikes against Iranian military and paramilitary infrastructure, including IRGC and Basij command centers, missile facilities, and other regime targets across multiple cities. Israeli and US joint forces have been conducting a sustained campaign targeting Iranian military infrastructure and internal security forces since late February, early March 2026. The strikes have reportedly inflicted heavy losses on the Iranian military. Iran has lost 90% of its missile launchers during joint US and Israel airstrikes that began last month, Bloomberg has reported, citing unnamed US officials. The report argues that after the sharp escalation in the summer of 2025, the United States and Israel adjusted their strategy. Having drawn clear lessons from that confrontation, their current approach focuses on systematically targeting missile launchers and command and control facilities. By eliminating these assets, they limit Iran's capacity to conduct large, coordinated attacks. Unlike the missiles themselves, which can be stored underground or replaced relatively quickly, launchers are far more difficult to conceal or rebuild. Because of this, they represent a critical vulnerability and have become a primary objective in the campaign. According to earlier statements from the Pentagon, the volume of Iranian launches has dropped dramatically since the operation began. Missile launches have decreased by about 90%, while drone launches have declined by roughly 83%. In addition, the Israeli television channel 24 reported last week that Iran has lost around 60% of its missile launchers and air defense equipment during the course of the fighting. According to estimates by Western defense agencies and research institutes, Iran's arsenal includes roughly 2,500 to 3,000 ballistic missiles, along with a large number of cruise missiles and armed drones. The United States and Israel began joint airstrikes, dubbed Epic Fury, on February 28, involving aircraft, missiles, and drones, operated by both the Israeli military and US forces. US President Donald Trump said the operation was aimed to target Iran's army and to obliterate Tehran's nuclear program. The campaign has targeted a wide range of locations across Iran, including air bases, missile launch sites, fuel storage facilities, and elements of Iran's military command structure. Over 100 children were killed as an elementary school was hit in Minato, Sao Paulo. On the figure, most day of the campaign, Manakomensia Berlin, Iran has responded with unprecedented retaliatory missile and drone attacks against Israeli territory and US-linked targets across the Middle East. Iranian state media has described some of these retaliatory barrages as the most intense since the start of the war, targeting Israeli cities and US military positions in the region. The exchange of strikes has raised concerns that the conflict could expand further across the Middle East and threaten global energy routes such as the Strait of Hormuz. Israel has destroyed several remaining Iranian F-14 Tomcat aircraft in an airbase in central city of Isfahan. The fighter jets have been seriously damaged on the runways of the airbase, as well as by large bunkers and other military structures intended for aircraft. According to Israeli Defense Forces, detection and air defense systems that pose a threat to Air Force aircraft were also targeted in the strike. The targeted Dharr tactical fighter bus in Isfahan is home to the 81 Stone, 82ND, and 83AD tactical fighter squadrons. As a result, it is possible that none of the Tomcats, or perhaps only a very small number potentially concealed in underground facilities, survived the attack anywhere in the world. Defense intelligence company Vento shared images of military equipment destroyed by Israeli strikes at an airbase. The footage shows complete destruction of the F-14 Tomcat fighter jets. The attack follows an earlier operation that destroyed 16 aircraft used by the Quds Force at Mehrabad Airport in Tehran, part of a broader effort to expand the Air Force's aerial superiority over Iran. In a statement, the IDF stressed that it will continue deepening strikes on Iran and expanding air superiority across the country. According to military analysts, the destruction of Tomcat aircraft has substantially reduced Iran's capacity to protect its central territories. The F-14 fighter aircraft, originally manufactured in the United States, were supplied to Iran before the 1979 Islamic Revolution and long represented some of the most important assets in the country's air force. Although maintaining them has been difficult due to limited access to spare parts, Iran has continued efforts over the years to keep the aircraft operational. The attack on the Isfahan airbase is part of the Epic Fury large-scale joint US-Israeli airstrikes on Iran that began on February 28. The strikes hit numerous strategic locations across Iran, including bases of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, command centers, missile launch sites, and weapons storage facilities. Iranian air defense systems and radar networks were also targeted in the early phases of the campaign, allowing Israeli aircraft to conduct repeated waves of attacks deeper inside the country. According to Israeli military statements, fighter jets struck ballistic missile launchers, underground bunkers, and command facilities used to coordinate Iranian military operations. By early March, hundreds of Iranian military sites had reportedly been struck during the campaign. Israeli officials claimed that the attacks eliminated key commanders and destroyed significant parts of Iran's missile and air defense networks, while continuing strikes aimed to maintain air superiority and disrupt Iran's military command structure.